there's a pullback on the cards, and given the lift from January 2019, it's all been about iron ore, starting with the Brazilian problems back in 2019. It's about COVID in 2020. It's about this tight market right now today, and iron ore price at 170 and Rio Tinto at $120. Neither will likely be there by the end of this year. And given that correlation between the two, as iron ore price mean reverts, as it does, so will Rio Tinto. So I do see it softer at some point over the course of the year, but it could hold these gains just in the short term whilst we're getting through the start of the year, Chinese New Year, and some weather in Australia as well.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that as well, because obviously there is this expectation that La Nina is going to hit the Pilbara region and perhaps cut supply for the first quarter. But then we're looking at the prospect as well of perhaps some stimulus coming in the way of President Biden over there in the United States, what that might mean for steel demand moving forward. So is there any possible kind of outcome where you can see these iron ore prices remaining relatively strong or thereabouts past 2021?
Well, it's funny. Everybody thinks iron ore price will stay high when they're high and stay low when they're low. So there's always, in that cognitive bubble, it's easy to pitch the case. But let me give you some retorts. Firstly, seasonally, iron ore supply will be weaker this quarter. So that with that cyclone or that weather effect you talked about, quite likely that could give some near-term tightness if we do see cyclone present. The Bureau in Australia talked about the La Nina season having peaked, so we still could get events from here, but at this stage we've had a reasonably good cyclone period. Secondly, scrap. Scrap's used in steelmaking as well, and over the course of the last year, scrap's not been as available as iron ore. Iron ore has been quite abundant despite the news headlines that tell you it's not. So as scrap usage comes back into the system, and bear in mind last year China made 5% steel make year on year, but they imported 10% more iron ore. As you see that balance go back to a more normal level, you may see scrap usage pick up. Number three, metallurgical coal price, another key input to steelmaking. Just the move in metallurgical coal price you would have observed in the last 2 or 3 days, about 25% so far this year. That's reduced the margin of steelmakers by about $14 or $15 alone. So that's starting to put pressure on steelmaking margins as well. So yes, the stimulus, I get that, and I can see that being a positive, but I also look at Chinese exports being one of their key drivers, which was announced over the last couple of days. As the rest of the world's steelmaking starts to come back online and China exports less, that will see a little bit of pushback into their own system as well. Now, all the points I've made are quite marginal incremental, but together over the course of the year, despite that stimulus you talked about, I do see prices coming back to a level not to the $55 mark we look at long term, but somewhere lower and trending lower as the market starts to normalise.